Welcome to Kingdom Builder TV. I'm your host, Jay Heilman. Thank you so much for joining us today. If you're familiar with the music of the 1970s, you probably know that the disco music era was all the rage, and one of the biggest solo artists to come out of that genre was Gloria Gaynor, and her song "I Will Survive" still remains one of the most successful and popular songs of all time. And now Gloria's story has been turned into a feature-length documentary named after the iconic song. And here to talk about this film is Betsy Schecter. Betsy, thank you so much for joining us today. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. Thank you for taking the time to talk about this film. I appreciate it.
Oh, we appreciate having you on here. Now, so this new documentary is called Gloria Gaynor, I Will Survive, named after Gloria's hit song from 1978. And the film is in theaters one night only on February 13th. Why don't you tell us a little bit about this film, and did it really take nearly a decade to put this thing together?
It did. I mean, the film is really about messages of hope and inspiration and how you can not just survive but thrive. And it's through Gloria's messages, but it's not just her sitting down and talking about it, as we followed her through her trying to get a gospel album made, which took her 5 years, and she had some health issues along the way. But what's so great about that process is you see how she applies her faith and how she applies her messages, and you get to see the great stuff of the past in the 70s, but also the hard things that happened to her. So I think that being afforded the length of time really kind of shows the authentic way that Gloria Gaynor is inspired by her faith and how it helps her to get through everything.
Yeah, and one thing that I liked about this is, I told you that I like documentaries. I like learning more about particular subjects or people, and this really kind of delved into more. I was familiar with some of Gloria's story, but this one really goes the length and, talking about her childhood, talking about her introduction into music and, to where she is now. And, after watching this film myself, I find it crazy that while putting together her gospel record testimony, that no one really wanted to pick this up. And to me, that's baffling because, I mean, yes, Gloria is mainly known for her mainstream disco and dance music, but personally, I find it gratifying to listen to an artist's passion project, especially one that's in Christian music. Why do you think record labels do this and, pigeonhole artists in one particular genre instead of championing it?
I don't know, but I think there could be, it's even making films about older people. If you're not young or infamous, I think somebody says in the film, it's hard to get, everyone wants what's the next, what's the new. I think after people have seen this, they're like, wow, and want to work with her and know. But what's great about Gloria, and it can apply to all of us, is we don't have to let what other people think or do stop us from doing what we want to do. And what was great is people like Bart Millard, Jason Crabb, Mike Farris, Yolanda Adams, all the musicians and the people in the community of the music community were came and helped her. And that's a beautiful thing.
Yeah, and my buddy Jason Crabb actually, like you mentioned, he actually recorded a few songs for that record. And in my opinion, it doesn't get much better than those two voices right there. I mean, they both of them have two of the most beautiful voices, and singing together on a song was amazing to hear.
Yeah, no, and the process of watching this was unbelievable, and we have one of the best music editors in the country. So you always worry you're in a moment or in a scene, and it won't translate the feeling. And what we've gathered from the festival audiences of all, we've gotten multiple audience awards, is that people feel it. People feel in the theaters what it was like to be there, which makes me really happy.
Yeah, and Chris Stevens was the one that produced that record, and I thought that was awesome because I'm very familiar with him. I've listened to a lot of the music that he's done, especially with like Toby Mac and stuff like that over the years. So it was really cool to see him and how he was able to work with her and put that record together.
Yeah.
And Gloria shares her inspirational journey and true story as a survivor in this film, both the highs and the lows. And I understand that you also have your own story. Why don't you take a moment to share that with us?
I started this in 2015. Since then, during the film, I had a baby. There was COVID. you know, um, I'm a single mom, so there's a lot of stuff that my father passed away, one of my editors and producers had stage 4 cancer during this, and we all survived and thrived during this. But I couldn't get anyone to really want. I've done 14 series. I've done music documentaries before. I really had a hard time getting people to fund this, so I self-funded with it, and then had some family and friends. So, it's sort of Gloria's journey to make the album was sort of my journey to make the film, and I think when people now see it, they understand the power of the movie, and that's worth all the journey that you take. But really being around Gloria for these many years and getting her wisdom and knowledge for all of us that worked on the film has been a blessing.
Yeah, and I'm glad that you guys did this too, because these are the kind of stories that we really, need to see. The ones that, especially with Gloria being in on her platform, she's a big name. And to hear that even people with her platform have gone through these valleys and gone back to the top of the mountain is just amazing stories to hear. And I love that you guys are able to share this. And I'm hoping and praying that the studio audiences that see this, not studio audience, I'm game shows, the audiences that go to the theaters that see this, I'm really hoping that they see that. They see that, if Glory can get through this and come out on top, then anybody can.
I have to tell you, and when we've really created this theater experience, our sound, our mix, our everything. But I have to tell you, we've been to a few festivals. All we've won awards at those festivals because, and from the audience, but after I leave, after it's over, Bart himself was in Nashville and he was blown away. And everyone said like they applied it to what they could do next or how they could get through this. And, everyone that came up to us. And that's the best gift. I've often asked Gloria, do you ever get sick of singing I Will Survive? And she says, no, it was a gift. She believes it's a gift from God. And seeing her around the world where we travel with her, and you'll see in the film, is everybody had a story of how that's helped them. And that's like priceless, to know that you can affect people that way, that she has affected people. She's also very funny. I mean, there's a lot of humor in there's a lot of her personality and fun with as she travels and does things too, which people wouldn't know about.
Yeah, Jason Crabb told me that when he did some performances with her, he said that that was some of the best experiences he's ever had with another artist. He said that Gloria is not only the sweetest, but she is just so much fun to be around. So hearing stories like that is always really cool to hear that, just how down to earth people are. And, as you mentioned, she's funny too. So it's pretty
Yeah.
cool.
There's a journey. It's not just sit in the chair and look back, although we got never before seen Super 8 footage that no one's ever seen before of her at the beginning of disco, which her manager didn't even know it was her because it's just now she's 80, but it's wonderful to feel like you're back in that time period too, and then coming back to here and seeing this woman who's been all over the world and is not taking no for an answer at she just turned 80 and she's creating new music even. It's just as we all get older, there's this stigma about how, about ageism. And if you see someone like Gloria, you know that like the best is yet to come. She at 65 was left with nothing and divorced and had to really build back her career. And she did it on her terms, the way she wanted to make this album and all for the good to help others is really what she does.
And I'm glad she didn't give up. The Testimony record was an amazing record. I loved hearing her voice. I loved hearing her sing about God and Jesus. That was awesome. And going back to the film, what's the biggest thing that you and Gloria hope that audiences can take away from the film after seeing it?
I mean, I don't want to speak to Gloria, but we've had discussions all along. And it's partly why I self-funded it so it could be the way it was supposed to be. No one, could say put a square in a circle, the faith, the through line. I wanted it to be what it should be. And my hope and I believe Gloria's hope, I know we've talked about it, is that it moves people and it changes them and it makes them think differently about the pitfalls of life that get you down and tell you you can't. Gloria was told she couldn't go to college. There's no means of it. And then she did. And we all have people telling us we're not good enough to do this, or we fit. I just hope it's of service to people. I wouldn't have, I've had 14 series. I've done a lot of good work. I've been nominated for an Emmy. I wouldn't have spent this much amount of time if it was more than just getting it's a passion project for me because I want to leave my daughter and other people. I want to have something a legacy to let other people know that there is hope no matter what. And not only just hope, but the ability to go higher because of what you've been through. You're not just a survivor. You can take it and apply it to being even something better is around the corner for yourself. And also we didn't I want people to just have fun and enjoy it and sing and dance and laugh and listen to the music. And we're gonna have a never before, hopefully the biggest, largest I Will Survive sing along with a special recorded with Gloria at the end of the film. And I think that'll just after seeing the film and then everyone collectively, the group singing that song, the power we'll put out into the world for good, I think will be amazing.
Well, that's really cool, and I love the documentary. It was very encouraging, very inspiring. So I really feel that others that go and see it will feel the exact same way as me. And the documentary is called Gloria Gaynor, I Will Survive. Comes to theaters one day only on February 13th, dubbed Galentine's Day. So where can folks get information on this, and where can they go see it at?
They can go to Fathom Events. I forget the www. They can go to Fandango and look up Gloria Gaynor. I Will Survive. The tickets they're in every theater, 4 o'clock and 7 o'clock. So people can gather and then go to dinner, or people can go at the 7 o'clock. And we can also go to www. Gloria Gaynor, I Will Survive movie.com. So there's many different ways to go get tickets. And, a lot of people are like getting a ticket and then buying tickets for friends who could use it. They just went through a divorce, they're going through cancer, or so it's been nice to see that too, of friends buying friends tickets and saying, here, come, this might lift you up. So I'm appreciative. I mean, of that too, of people wanting to think of others when they come to see this movie.
That's awesome. Well, Betsy, thank you so much for joining us today. We greatly appreciate you taking the time, and I'm hoping that this film inspires, encourages people just as it did me and so many others who have already seen it.
Thank you so much. And Gloria is an amazing person, and I just want her to get her flowers and people to know why we all love her so.